Hey everybody, Big Anklevich here, podcaster, author, and carnivore. And we came to the end of the 30-day carnivore challenge. However, I'm not giving it up. I am a author, podcaster, and carnivore. And so, yeah, I'm sticking with the carnivore thing, and I'm not stopping. In fact, it's been a few days since the carnivore challenge ended, and I kept going with my videos. I still did my daily report. So I'm going to toss to those 4 daily reports. And then after that, we're going to do a whole great fun thing of wrapping up the carnivore challenge and talking about what we learned and how things are going to be better from here on out and all that good stuff. So I will see you guys then. Okay, everybody, it is Thursday, and it is the first day after the 30-day carnivore challenge that I did with Marshall. I decided I'm going to keep going with this thing. And no, I'm loving it. I had an easy day today. I didn't give myself enough time to cook something, though. I was doing other things this morning. I had a couple of people, 2 different things going on at our house. Somebody cleaning our air conditioning, somebody taking a look at our pool, and I didn't have time to get things ready. So I was about to jump in the shower before I headed to work, and I ran to the fridge and went, crap, what can I make real quick? Well, we had this big sausage. It's a sausage that has a bunch of spices in it. I think jalapeno is the main spice. And I threw that thing into the air fryer and started it up. And then I ran to the shower, and I took a shower. When I got out, I started eating that thing, and I realized it wasn't going to be enough. And so I grabbed some frozen hamburger patties that we have. All they need to be is microwaved for a few minutes. So I microwaved those up, and I ate 3 hamburger patties, which I think they're each 1/4 pound. So, almost, that's 3/4 of a pound of beef that I ate there, plus the sausage. So somewhere, it was a big sausage. So somewhere between, I don't know, 1.5 pounds, 1.25 pounds, something like that is how much I ate today. And it was all lovely. And that was all I had. I'm doing my 1 meal a day thing, and for the most part, it doesn't even bother me. I don't even get hungry later, so it seems to work just fine. Okay, everybody, it is day 2 of the post challenge. It's Friday, and yeah, had a good day today. All I did was have bacon and eggs. It's funny because I went to the fridge this morning and I looked in the drawer where we keep all the meats and stuff, and I was like, holy cow, there's nothing in here. It was all cheese that was in there, and that's it. And I don't eat cheese anymore. I've stopped doing that. And I looked, I was like, what am I going to eat? And then I moved something aside, and there's 2 pounds of bacon underneath here. What am I talking about? I got plenty. Then it turns out there was more. There's like ribs in the fridge that's left over from earlier in the week that my wife got. And she made a roast the other day. All that stuff was just there. So I got plenty. But I had already started cooking bacon by the time I realized all the rest of that stuff. So I guess I'll have to eat that tomorrow or something. I don't know. But yeah, I had bacon and eggs, 1 pound of bacon, 6 eggs. And that was my meal for the day. That's all I had. I ate that at about noon. And went on with my day, and I haven't eaten anything at all since then. So that was me for Friday. Day 2 of the post-apocalypse. So yeah, pretty cool. It's still going, and I'm doing just fine. Okay, it is Saturday, which I think is day 3. I'm already losing count at 3. How about that? Anyways, today was a little bit different than usual. I got up, we were doing some stuff. Actually, we weren't. I don't know what we were doing. What did we do this morning? We went to IKEA today, but before we left, IKEA always turns into like a whole day trip. I don't know if it's that way for you, but definitely that way for us. So before we left, I was going to get stuff to eat, and I remembered that there's leftover ribs in the fridge. There wasn't very much, though. There's only like 3 or 4 ribs left. So I had what was left of those. And then I cooked bacon, and I had the bacon as well. And then we went to IKEA, and we were there for hours and hours. And by the time we got home, it was like 7 o'clock or something. I don't know what time it was exactly, but we got home late. And I was hungry again. I have been just doing the 1 meal a day thing, but I was really hungry. And when the rest of the family had dinner, I said, you know what? So am I. And I took the roast that my wife had made earlier this week. I hadn't had any of it yet because she made it when I wasn't home, but there was a bunch left over. So I took that and I warmed that up and I ate it. And that's what I ate today. So that was day 3. Okay, it is Sunday, which is day 4 of the post-Carnivore challenge. I'm still sticking with it. It is Easter Sunday today. And that was nice because meals, we actually sat down and ate meals. It wasn't a regular day where I would just get what I could. Instead, today we had an Easter breakfast, although we didn't have Easter breakfast until afternoon. But I had 6 eggs and a pound of sausage for my Easter breakfast. And I managed to finish it all. Usually I can't with the pound of sausage. I think it's just because sausage is more thick than like bacon. A lot of it, a lot of the grease melts away, but with sausage you don't get that. So, but I did finish it anyways, and I think I maybe eaten a couple of the sausage links that the kids were having as their breakfast. They were also having, like some bread and some, I don't remember what, other crap. Non-human food. And then later on, we went over to some friends' house for dinner, and they had made ham and beef ribs, and I had a large portion of each of those. I haven't been doing 2 meals a day for a while, but I was hungry today, and so I just went ahead and did it. And I feel fine. It was a lovely Easter. I hope you had a good Easter too. I'll see you guys next time. All right, so there you go. That's what I've been doing for the last few days. Still coming along, and it's going good. Now, me and Marshall, we had, it's kind of, I don't know, I guess you could say even that it's a life-changing experience in a way to do this. Before we started this, and I don't know if I ever mentioned this in any of the videos, but I was in a really bad place. I was kind of like, an alcoholic or something, a serious addict that was I was using all of my spare time to feed my addiction. I would get up in the morning and then I would maybe eat something, but more importantly, I would immediately start looking for my fix. At the time, I was really, really into soda. I was drinking soda all the time, and it had to be a certain kind. There's only some kinds that I would like. Other kinds just didn't do it for me. I've never been much of a cola guy. I've always thought that was kind of lame. I did at least do diet soda, so maybe that means something, but I don't really think so. All the flavors had kind of lost, like an addict, you eventually have to have more and more or whatever, different stuff, stronger stuff to get that fix. Yeah, all the various sodas had lost their joy for me. And so I was driving to Taco Bell each day and getting Mountain Dew Baja Blast because that was the addiction that I had at the time. And I would get a large Baja Blast, which cost about $2.50 per. And then not only that, but I would, so I didn't have to drive back and to get another one because I knew that I was going to want another one. I would finish that first one that I got by the time I was home. And so I would actually buy 2 large Baja Blast Zeros to take home with me. And so I would drink most of one of them on the way home, and then I'd have a second one to, last me the rest of the morning. And I was doing that daily. So that was $5 I was blowing every day on soda. And a lot of times I would do that, and then I would also get a 2-liter bottle of whatever I could get from the grocery store. And I would take that with me to work and drink that for the rest of the day. So, 2-liter bottle plus 2 large, which is 32 ounce, well over 3 liters, probably close to 4, I was drinking like a gallon of soda a day. And I couldn't stop myself. I could not for the life of me stop. I would be like, okay, today I'm not going to do this. And then I did. And each time, and it was like one of those things where if I was just out and I would drive near where a Taco Bell was, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's right here. And I could just and then I was there, I was buying one, and it was a huge waste of money for one, and two, it's terrible for my body. I just, when you're doing diet soda, which is not, sugar, it still gives you that sweet, and in having the sweet gives you the urge to have more sweet. So, it was, I couldn't stop. I had such the hardest time. And then I got with Marshall, and I challenged him to try this with me, and he was down for it. And, when I challenged him, I was thinking, okay, we'll start Monday or something like that. But no, he's like, yeah, I think we can start tomorrow. And I was like, oh, tomorrow? Okay. Won't even have time to, go out and do all my one last sodas kind of a trick that I always do when I'm going to start something up. And so, yeah, we just started up, but it worked. I don't know if it was making it a competition that made it work or what it was, but it worked to break that cycle that I was stuck in, that vicious circle that just kept feeding on itself and going around and around. And that was really great. Now let's talk about some of the advantages that I had out of this. I mentioned how, I was in a spiral. And because of that, all the markers, all the things that, can be looked at to determine your health were in bad shape. Specifically, I'm diabetic. I'm type 2 diabetic. And I'm trying to get rid of that. And I have put it in remission before and then brought it right back in because I wasn't taking care of myself. And I plan for this to be the last time that happens. But when I started this month, my blood sugar, I took it that very morning, and it was 310, which is really bad for those of you who don't know, who aren't type 2 diabetic and don't know what, a high blood sugar is. But that's really bad, and I'm sure I was causing myself a lot of internal damage. So I started eating carnivore, and, hopefully what my body is doing is using all that amazing nutrition that I got out of all that food, all those carnivore foods I was eating, to repair that damage. Took a little while. My blood sugar was coming down slowly. After time, it was down a little bit lower, then a little bit more, and then I was right on the cusp of normal. A normal blood sugar is between 7 and 130, or, that's normal. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean healthy, I would say, because, these days, is normal healthy? Normal is, pretty unhealthy, really. But it was coming down, and it was getting in, and I finally did cross over that threshold into a normal blood sugar. I was under 130, which felt pretty good, but the day that the Carnivore 30-day challenge ended with me and Marshall, I took my blood sugar one more time, and it had come all the way down to 92, which is well within the realm of not just normal, but I would say that's probably even healthy. That's a good blood sugar. It'll probably come down even further. I think even better would be, in the 70s. And heck, I've seen some of Sean Baker's videos where he was way below that. And, usually when you get below 70, you'll start having issues. You'll start having, getting a little woozy and stuff like that. But apparently, if you're eating super, super good, like, Sean Baker, that guy just eats steak after steak after steak, and that's it. So, he's eating healthy, and his blood sugar was sometimes down in like 50s or 40s, and he was fine. He didn't even know. He didn't feel anything about it. So I don't know what that means, and I'm not necessarily shooting for that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens eventually. Of course, by then I probably won't even bother taking my blood sugar because, once you're done with, the diabetes thing, what's the point? And that's where I plan to be. The other thing too, I weighed myself the day that we started, and my weight was 288.2. Throughout the course of the Carnivore Challenge, it just went up. It didn't come down. It was going up. Went up to I think it got all the way up to 296. And I was just like, well, I guess that's what my body needs. I don't know. I'm not gonna, I know that I'm eating healthy. I know that this is gonna be good for me. So I'm just gonna, let it do what it has to do. And before the challenge came to an end, it took a turn and went south and came back down. Yeah, I didn't lose any weight, however, because here's my final weight, which was 287.4. I guess I lost 0.8 of a pound, which is not a particularly great number for a whole month. But, there's a lot of stuff. Like I said, I was doing really bad stuff to myself. I was not taking care of myself. I was eating nothing but garbage. And it's no surprise that my body was in desperate need of some real nutrients, and it needed to repair itself before it can get to, the process of dumping excess weight. I think it'll get there. But I'm not going to rush it. I've heard tales of people who, were on carnivore for several months before anything ever started changing for them. And a lot of them gained weight for several months before it came back to where they wanted to be. So, I'm going to let that ride, let that go, and just keep eating what's right. And if nothing else, I got to keep my blood sugar down. I got to keep myself from living like that. So I've got to keep on with this, whether I'm losing weight or not. I think I will lose weight eventually, but I think it's going to take some time. And yeah, I don't know. There could be more issues. I saw somebody post on a Carnivore Facebook group the other day that they'd been at it for like 3 years and they still hadn't lost weight. And they were trying to figure out what the heck was the problem. And, I guess you could have caused yourself thyroid issues or other things. There's probably something even larger underlying that, and, may require medication or something like that to get it to work. I don't know. I guess if I've been at it for a long time, maybe I'll look into that. But for now, I'm doing fine. So I'm just going to let it be, and we'll see. See if I start losing weight eventually. Yeah, I guess, we're here at the end of this thing and trying to decide who won the Carnivore Challenge. Because it was supposed to be a competition in the first place, We're both kind of nerdy toy collectors, as you can see back behind me. And what we decided to do was put an action figure on the line. Whoever won got an action figure. But really, none of us failed. At one point, Marshall tried to declare me the winner. He sent me a text saying that he'd watched the latest video, and he's like, "Oh, you know, I ate almonds all the time in this thing," but and you know, he wanted to say, "You're the winner. Tell me what action figure you want." And you know, he said he felt silly for not realizing that almonds aren't carnivore. They aren't, you know. Sometimes you say the flesh of a nut or the meat of a nut or something like that, but that's just a turn of phrase. They don't really have meat in them. But yeah, I couldn't do that. I couldn't let him declare me the winner because, you know, I didn't say anything, and it was part. You know, I might have said something earlier on, so at least to nip it in the bud before it got much further, but I got so behind on doing these videos that it was too late by the time I noticed that it was actually a thing that he would mention more than once. So, you know, if I'd said something, he was a beginner. You know, this was his first time ever doing carnivore. He'd done keto, but he'd never done carnivore before. And so, you know, my guess is that he just had it kind of in his head that nuts were a keto thing, and that's a keto staple, so it should be fine. Have some almonds. I know that I ate tons of almonds when I was doing keto, so of course, how many oxalates did I get out of those? Not too keen to know about that. Anyways, so that's how my experience from this carnivore challenge went. Huge success, and I am in a great position to just keep on motoring. What's my price for flight? Let's go see what Marshall has for, you know, how he enjoyed this challenge, what he learned, you know, and how it worked for him. Did he lose weight? Did he, I don't know, change his blood sugar? He probably doesn't know. He's probably not measuring that because he's not diabetic. But anyways, yeah, you know, he told me that he's gonna stick with it. He's probably gonna do more of like a ketovore thing from here on out. Maybe have some of the stuff that regular people eat, but mostly stick to carnivore things. So let's see what he's got to say about his experience, and we'll be back in a minute.
Hey everybody, it's Marshall Latham here. At the end of the Carnivore Challenge, 30-day Carnivore Challenge that I did with Big Anklovich. And I consider it a big success. I think Big was definitely successful, or considers it a big success as well, because he was able to stick with it, and I was able to stick with it. We both made it through without any falling off the rails or anything like that. So I think it was a really good competition. You know, I am glad that I did it. I learned a lot about myself and about the carnivore diet and things like that. I guess the biggest thing that I learned was that I have willpower, and I knew that from before. You know, I've been successful at losing weight and being healthy and eating less and those kinds of things in the past. And but I had to remind myself again that I could do this, that I could have willpower and go without certain things and avoid foods. And it's always, you know, mind over matter, right? That kind of stuff is important in your life, not to be a slave to your body or your appetites or your whatever, that you can choose what you're going to eat. You can choose what you're going to put in your body. And it's good. You know, I lost about 15 pounds over the 30 days of doing the carnivore diet. So the results are there. The evidence is in that, you know, it's definitely a way to lose weight. But, you know, losing weight isn't necessarily the only goal that I have. I want to be healthy. I want to feel good. And I do feel good after the 30 days. You know, I feel I try to walk. One of the things I've been doing over the last 6 months is just trying to get out and walk and just be active in my life, because it's healthy to be active, to keep your body moving, to keep your muscles in flow, and you sit too long, and your body just doesn't work well. Your body is meant to move around. Your body is meant to be active, and if you're not being active, then you don't do well. Your body doesn't function the way that it should. And so that's been a big thing that I've been trying to do over the last 6 months. Not necessarily, push myself and work out as hard as I can and all that kind of stuff, but just be out doing something, doing exercise on purpose. But one of the things that's hard about that, especially when you're as overweight as I am, is that my back would hurt. So I'd have to stop several times as I was walking. But yeah, since I've done the 30-day carnivore diet, I have been lighter on my feet. My back hasn't hurt. My clothes fit better. I feel lighter. I look better. You probably can't tell through these videos. I don't think there's been enough change for that, but I've noticed things, and my wife has noticed the change, and it's all good. So yeah, it's important to eat good things, and it's important to be healthy. Am I a full convert to the carnivore diet? Yes and no. I don't see anything bad with it. I think it's all good. I agree with your body needs the meat, and it needs the fat, and the whole campaign to get rid of fat in our diets is not a good thing. It's natural things that we need to be eating. Sometimes I get the feeling, and I've watched lots of videos of carnivores and people doing it on a daily basis, not just the scientists and the doctors and whatever, but people, trying to use it in their everyday lives. And sometimes I get the attitude of the us versus them, carnivores versus the vegans or the vegetarians, and plants are evil, and if you eat a plant, you're a bad person. You're gonna die if you eat a plant or whatever. And I know that's definitely not where Big is coming from. It's definitely not where most people doing carnivore are coming from. But I really kind of get that sense from people. It's like, well, you're stupid if you don't do what I'm doing. And if you have a banana, shame on you, kind of thing. So I really buck against that kind of mentality of us versus them. It's like Democrats versus Republicans and anything else, like that you can think of. It's all, oh, how could you do something like that? Or think that way. So I kind of buck against that. My general feeling is God created all these things on the earth for us to partake of. That's the meat as well as the plants and the greens and things like that. And so, but that doesn't mean that I should go back to eating the way I was. That doesn't mean that I should have, cereal every morning and, bread and everything that I do. It doesn't mean that I should go back to eating pastas all the time and all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to go back to the way I was eating. That was wrong. What I was eating wasn't good, and I was eating too much of the bad stuff and not enough of the good stuff. And so, all that said, I want to stick pretty close to the carnivore diet, regardless of what I do. And I don't want to veer away and just go back to eating whatever I want, whenever I want, whatever looks good, tastes good, blah, blah, blah. I have definitely learned a lot about how bad I was eating, how terrible I was treating my body and that kind of thing. So I really like the carnivore diet. I think I've dispelled a lot of the myths that I had about it, or, I've kind of answered a lot of questions about what it means to me, that kind of thing. One of the people that I watch a lot is Dr. Barry. Big had showed me Dr. Barry's pod or videos before, and so, but anyway, and then his wife also does videos on YouTube, Nisha, and sometimes they do a lot of stuff together, and you kind of see how carnivore works in their daily life, and I kind of like that. And their philosophy is, you have to figure out what works for you. He's hardcore, total carnivore. She is more of what she calls a ketovore, where she has a few things like onions and garlic and a few other things. So, and every once in a while has something. But anyway, just the day to day, how to eat as a carnivore. I've kind of watched a lot of those videos, and I've watched some of the other ones too. But anyway, I think for myself, I've worked out, what is the carnivore diet? What's going to work for me, kind of thing. And, I'll have to say though, after the 30-day challenge was out, this is a few days after that, the first day off the carnivore challenge, I did end up having some cookies, and my body did not react well to those cookies. It's like, holy crap, what are you giving me this junk for? I felt the difference when I had those cookies. And so that's just another testament that, my body doesn't need that sugar. My body doesn't need those things that aren't good for it. And it let me know. I did have a couple sodas in the last few days. And I wouldn't say that I didn't enjoy the taste of them, and that they didn't necessarily make me sick, but I didn't feel great after eating them, drinking them. And so, again, I think, that's just another testament that the carnivore diet gives you what your body needs. And I'm glad to have done the 30-day challenge. My biggest regret with the 30-day challenge is I kind of feel like I cheated, because throughout the entire carnivore diet, I was eating almonds, which I swear I read somewhere that certain types of nuts were considered fine for the carnivore diet. I swear I read that somewhere in an article about the carnivore diet, or what do's and don'ts and that kind of thing. But when you think about it, the whole thing about the carnivore challenge is it's animal, coming from an animal, not coming from a plant. Again, well, anyway, so if I was going to dedicate myself to the carnivore diet, I shouldn't have been eating almonds. And I never talked to Big about it for some reason, and he never said anything to me about it. So I just kind of went through it with the almonds. I mean, not tons of almonds, not every single day, but yeah, consistently throughout the challenge, I was eating almonds. And again, I don't think that's a bad, evil thing. But I committed myself to do the carnivore challenge, and I technically didn't fully do the carnivore challenge. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go another 30 days on the carnivore challenge. And I'm going to try to be a little bit more hardcore this time. Not just the almonds, not eating almonds, but I don't know. Maybe I'll try to find a way to add some organ meat into it. And I'll try to be, I don't know, more stringent on myself as far as the types of meat I'm eating and how they're seasoned. I'm not going to have salsa this time, because I learned that wasn't that big of a deal to me. It's not as important as I thought it was. The other thing that I'm going to commit to, and this isn't anything to do with, Big and I aren't going to do a competition this time. So it's not about that. But I'm going to try to do the intermittent fasting the entire 30 days. And it's just going to be a daily thing. Like, so I'm going to try to not eat 16 to 18 hours every day. So the window for my eating is 4 to 6 hours. And I don't think that's going to be too hard to do. I just can't go home and say, oh, you know what? I'm going to have some pork rinds. If I want pork rinds, I'm going to have to eat them during the day, during my eating window. Or if I want, something that my wife made that's carnivore and everything's good, and instead of having a little bit of that in the evening, I'm just going to have it the next day. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more hardcore in this next 30 days. So I did talk to Big about it, and he says, well, why don't you continue doing the videos? So I'm going to continue doing the videos every day. It'll probably be shorter. They'll probably mostly be in my car. I was trying to go to different locales and have different backdrops for all of my videos the last time around. But this time I'm probably just going to do it in the car. It's the easiest place for me to record these things. My hands are free. I don't have to hold it out in front of me. I can do it right here in the car. So it's going to be kind of the no glam, more hardcore 30-day challenge for me this time. And I just want to prove to myself that I can do it without cheating, without, go all the way with it. So we'll see how that goes. Big, I challenge you in the next 30 days to eat some head cheese. And I'll try to do the same thing. That's the only challenge that I'm giving Big during this. We have to eat head cheese. And never had it. Don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right. Talk to you guys later. I'll see you in the next 30 days for the next 30-day challenge. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Oh, well, there you go. So sounds like Marshall has already, in the last few days, experienced what life might be if he isn't doing carnivore. He had himself some cookies, and they didn't make him happy. Instead, they made him sad. Which, if you haven't had cookies for a while, that doesn't surprise me. Your digestion is going to be like, no! So, so there you go. Marshall has decided to try it again. He feels a little funny about the almond things, and he wants to do a legit 30-day carnivore thing. So I'm down with that. I say we keep doing it. And we can still do these videos. Marshall says he's going to do them, shorter and in his car, which, may be fine, because in some of his videos, he was in a room full of machinery, and that was pretty loud. Hard to understand him. So it might be better if he's just in a quiet car. Of course, that means that he needs to do them when he's not in the car wash. But anyways, so Marshall lost 15 pounds. That's pretty darn good. I bet he can keep that up for a while before it even slows down. It's pretty exciting. So I'm glad to be able to keep going on this and to do a carnivore challenge too. He wants me to eat head cheese. I don't know about that. I don't know that I want to do that. What is head cheese? Like, I get the idea in my mind that they took like a pig's head and fermented it somehow and made it into cheese, or mixed it with cheese. I don't even know. I've heard of head cheese, but I've never eaten it. Or it's seen it, I guess, is more appropriate. Where could I even find head cheese? Will they just have that at the grocery store? I don't know. That doesn't seem like the kind of thing that they just have at the grocery store, but maybe they do. I don't know. I guess I'll have to look into it, because that's the challenge. When I find out that Marshall's eating head cheese, then maybe I'll be like, okay, now I'm obligated to do it. And but he did. I guess he just wants to eat more organ meats, because they're supposed to be good for you. The trouble is that they have a tendency to taste awful, which is why they call them awful. Or offal, or I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce that word, the Offal, but yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Sean Baker says you don't have to eat organs to get the benefits. He never does, and he does just fine. He just eats steak, and you look at the guy, he's friggin' buffed. So, I don't know. Yeah, there's ways you can get organs that, I don't know, maybe head cheese is good, but I've eaten a bunch of Braunschweiger in the last while, which, it's not great. It's got a weird kind of hot dog taste or something like that, but it's sausage made from liver. So, if you can eat liver without it tasting kind of nasty, which liver tends to taste to me, maybe that's the way to do it. You should try some Braunschweiger. Marshall, see if they have that at the grocery store you go to. They had it at mine, and I go to Aldi, which is a pretty small grocery store, but yet they still had Braunschweiger. Another thing, eggs count as organs. They have a lot of the same stuff in organs, and I know that Marshall eats eggs all the time, so you're getting a whole lot of organs. I guess you're getting everything. Like, what's in an egg is what it takes to make a chicken. So it's like eating a whole chicken, really, when you eat an egg. Another thing that people talk about in the same vein is sardines. And I have a can of sardines. I was gonna try it, but I never have. I don't know why, but I'm afraid to eat sardines. I'm not a fish person. I think I mentioned that last time. Marshall was having shrimp and all sorts of different seafood, and seafood is not my thing. I've never liked it, and also I'm allergic to shrimp, so I'm a little afraid of some seafoods. Fish and stuff like that I can eat just fine, but I don't like the taste of it. So I don't know. I wonder if I could handle sardines. But they're supposed to be really good for you. I know Dr. Boz did a month or something like that, where she did nothing but eat sardines and felt great for it. And some of her family went along with her doing it, but they were kind of grossed out, because sardines, you just eat. For one, you eat the whole thing. You just take the fish, scales, bones, head, and everything, and you eat it. For some reason, that just grosses me out. But maybe if we're going to challenge each other to something, maybe I'll challenge Marshall to eat sardines. And maybe I'll see if I can eat some sardines too. I do have them. If I do, I will make like a video of it. I'll make it for the channel. You'll get to see me eat sardines and see my reaction to it. And I'm sure I'll do the same thing with head cheese if I eat that too. So yeah, we'll see. All right, I think that's pretty much the it for our big finale of the Carnivore Challenge. The 30-day Carnivore Challenge has come to an end and has begun. So let's check it out. Let's see how it goes. We've got another month, and we're going to see what we can do in another month. It's going to be good stuff. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Big Anklevich on health.